All right, we're going to go over Blastaar's kit, which is complicated, and none of his abilities have cooldowns. In addition to that, we got two brand new promo codes right here. We got Blastaar Legend with 2 A's, and that's good for 20,000 intel credits and 1 million gold. And then there's one, I thought this was funny, it's just oops. Oops! That's for 100 power cores. Now, at any given time in my Twitch chat or on my Discord server, exclamation codes and Nightbot will respond with all of the current codes at the time of making this video. These were the current codes. I also want to point out that this is not fantastic. This is fanstastic. There's an extra S in there. Maybe that's a typo. And then this one right here, a lot of people said did not work. This was the same one it was on their Facebook. And so if you already collected it through a link or through their Facebook, it's the same one. Let's get into the Blastaar kit, and it is not simple. And this is going to be for free. Well, free is not the right word. Through engagement in the next 3-month chapter of Annihilus. And then Blastaar is going to be the second of 3 essential legendaries needed to unlock Annihilus. Now, I'm guessing that, well, I know for sure that the Blastaar unlock method is going to be similar to that of Quasar, but I'm also expecting the Red Star method is going to be different. I think they were not entirely happy with the way that Red Stars were distributed with Quasar, and they are going to be changing that. Here are some of the key things about the kit to know, and it seems pretty exciting, and his animations look great. New Reign is set to begin in Cosmic Crucible, and Blastaar will be atop the throne, arriving with a kit that makes him an offensive terror, and there's a key reason why, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Explosive Blastaar is a time bomb of damage and effect manipulation. All of his abilities have 0 ability cost. That's probably going to make playing him on auto a problem, and that's probably why he will not be as good or as effective as he is on offense. He also has a bunch of awakened abilities that's going to make him work and play much different than without the awakened abilities, and some of them affect all game modes, the passive specifically. So we have one other character in the game that has no cost on special, and that would be Gambit. And so 0 cost, not only on the special and the ultimate, allowing you to choose how to pummel the opposition each turn. Blastaar Basic fills his speed bar, clears Safeguard, and that's on the awakened ability, fills his bomb burst status effect, while his special controls the battlefield and his ultimate unleashes a devastating attack. Blastaar is also fortified with heals, barrier, drain, making him difficult to eliminate. Now, let's talk about the bomb burst, light the fuse. It's part of his kit. It's similar to that of charge, but it is not charged. So it doesn't get countered with a character like Gore, but it kind of works in a similar way that charge does. Blastaar's prize weapon is this Bomb Blast status effect that both protects Blastaar and pulverizes enemies. Bomb Blast is a neutral status effect similar to charge that Blastaar gains through his basic or passive abilities, as long as he doesn't possess silence. And I believe silence is going to be the next cure-all counter. Franklin will have the silence, the first character with it. They've also added in silence. They kind of just slipped this in. Essentially was like a small nerf to Odin, where they said, this character cannot gain any new negative effects except silence. Well, that's the thing. Silence is going to be kind of the next meta, maybe in the same way that like trauma and safeguard, and then dropping down negative effects, the duration was the counter to trauma and safeguard. And now we're going on to something else called silence. I mean, it's the progression of the game. Hence also the kits are a lot more complicated. And the passive awakened ability seems very powerful. Blastaar's speed bar can't be reduced. That's only through the awakened passive, and we have no idea how that's going to be released, whether it's going to be through money or through event or placement, or if it's going to be an auction. No idea. Gains 20% speed per bomb burst via awakened passive. Now, later when we go into the kit, my understanding is that this is tied to Crucible only, so keep that in mind. And this is the mechanic that can be shut down the way that the new Emma shuts down like Man-Thing's passive. So this is not turn meter, this is actual speed. Can't gain slow or speed up, gains additional focus for himself and all allies. Basic Blast. Basic abilities feed Blastaar's Bomb Blast. Not only does Blastaar's basic grant him Bomb Blast, but anytime a non-summon ally uses their basic, Blastaar will also gain a Bomb Blast. And then there's some complicated mechanics in his passive that kind of work like an assist, but they explicitly are not an assist. They outright stated in the video that he's going to be very good with Kahori. We'll talk about more of that here in a minute. Stack Bong Burst on Blastaar and then turn away the enemy side of the battle into a crater. Gains piercing per Bomb Burst, and piercing, my understanding is piercing is 50% ignore of defense, which in some games that's very powerful, like percent armor ignore is kind of the way it is. It's piercing. On Crucible offense with +3, he reduces the duration of all enemy positive effects by 3. This is on the ultimate, which has no cooldown. On Crucible offense with 4+ Bomb Burst, he gains Drain for the attack. With 5+ Bomb Burst, he gains Crit Chance for the attack. On Crucible offense with 5+ Bomb Burst, he reduces speed bar of all enemies. It's bonkers. He seems like an auto win button. And I think Quasar, to a certain extent, is that in war as well. He's kind of like a I win button. And I'm largely right with the right team comp. And I think Blastaar is going to be that way in Crucible. Traits, Villain, Cosmic, Bio, Blastaar, Legendary. I've got Bio highlighted there because we've got Fantastic Four right now. I think once you have unlocked Professor X, there's some characters worth considering to continue your journey on the Gear Tier 20. And a lot of people are taking up Fantastic Four MCU. I'm not talking about Human Torch or Thing. I'm talking about Franklin being of the highest importance, in my opinion. Then we've got Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman. Now, keep that in mind that Blastaar is Bio also. I'm not really sure when this is going to start. I'm guessing this is a month away, maybe more than a month away, but I'm not 100% sure when the first people will be unlocking Blastaar. Speed of 127. Now, I want to skip to the passive and work backwards because it's kind of hard to get an understanding of what his kit does. And this is a little more complicated than I would like, but let's get through it. On spawn, gain defense up for 2 turns and safeguard for 2 turns. That's kind of a scary combo. No immunity though, but if you think about Quasar, right? That's a thing right there. When a non-summon ally uses their basic attack. So this is not an assist. This is worded very specific. When a non-summon ally uses their basic attack. And that is kind of similar to that of King, which has it on their ultimate ability. When this character or any astral ally has possessed at the end of that character's turns, and when any non-summoned ally uses their ultimate ability, explicitly is not an assist. And what they're saying in the Strike Time video is this makes him synergize very, 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 very well with Kahori. And that Kahori plus Blastaar is going to be crazy. They said it outright. Attack primary target for damage plus piercing. Clear all negative effects on self. If this character does not have silence, gain 1 bomb burst up to a maximum of 5. And then on Crucible offense, which is what this character is all about, if the target does not have safeguard, clear all positive effects on the primary target. On Crucible offense, fill speed bar by 30% for self. That is so good. It's just in Crucible. On Crucible offense, this attack gains extra focus. While this character has bomb burst, so once it has that bomb burst, not charged, but similar to charged mechanic, character cannot gain slower speed up. In Crucible, gain 100% focus for self and all allies. And this will make more sense when we look at the Awakened right here in just a moment. Now, the Awakened does some other interesting things right here. If the primary target has safeguard, reduce the duration of safeguard by 2, immunity by 2, and taunt by 1. And we're going to see a similar reading when we get to the basic attack and the ISO attack on him. Then also, this is outside of Crucible with the Awakened ability, which is going to make the Awakened ability on Blastaar the most important. There's the Awakened ability on his passive, his ultimate, and his basic, not on his special. This character's speed bar cannot be reduced. That's crazy good. This character cannot gain slower speed up, and this is in all game modes. Then in Crucible, can gain 100% focus for self and all allies, and then we've read this already before in the highlights at the beginning of this. On Crucible offense, gain 20% speed per bomb burst on this character. That can go up to 5, so you can have 100% speed, and that can be shut down by that new Emma mechanic that we talked about. Odin has something like that too, where he goes twice as fast with a base speed of 127 plus 100% speed. That is very, very, very fast. So let's look at the ultimate. When it has a lot of the bomb bursts, it's going to be kind of like an I win button from the way it reads. No cost. Attack all enemies for piercing. This attack gains additional benefits based on the number of bomb bursts on the character. Gains 250 piercing per bomb burst on the character, up to a maximum of 1250 piercing. In the strike time video, the animation of this was amazing, of course, and it looked like it just deleted the team. The damage numbers were through the roof. On Crucible offense, if this character has 3 or more bomb bursts before the attack, reduce the duration of all positive effects on all enemies by 3. So that is like Sable. That is like in-game Thanos. And maybe with a character faster than him or Kahori, he could lead with this if he can get up to 3 bomb bursts. You know, if Kahori takes 2 turns right away, and then maybe Songbird takes another turn, whatever. I don't know. This might be a turn 1 situation. If this character has 5 or more bomb bursts, gain 50% chance for this attack, clear all bomb bursts on this character so it resets, and then no revives. And then the Awakened ability, which we have no idea how we're going to get, or if it's going to be in a tournament, if it's going to be for money, if it's going to be a leaderboard auction, we don't know. On Crucible offense, the character has 4 or more, gain drain so he can get his health back, if any is gone at that point. Crucible offense, the character has 5 or more bomb bursts, reduce the speed bar of all enemies by 30%. Bonkers, 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 bonkers. All right, special. So this one here is kind of interesting because the healing gets worse as the more of the bomb burst. That's right. This ability gets worse. It gets less effective if there's more bomb burst. And they said that they wanted that to happen to incentivize you to not hoard the bombs and then just to use the ultimate. So no cooldown. Attack primary adjacent targets for piercing. Steal 10% max health and redistribute to self. Ignores heal block. Apply ability block to primary target. So that kind of feels like Gambit right there. Gain safeguard for 2 turn. He also spawns with safeguard. Heal the character 40% max health. This amount is reduced by 5% per bomb burst on this character down to a minimum of 15% healing. So it starts off at 40, can drop all the way down to 15. The more bombs you have on him, the less healing. Okay. In Crucible, apply trauma to the primary target. This character has 3 or more bomb bursts. Apply ability block to all 3, or the adjacent targets. So I guess it could be more than 3. Bury yourself and all allies for 30% of the character's max health. Apply immunity for 2 turns to self and all allies. Now, let's read the basic attack. And this is a little bit confusing because not only is there a basic attack and an ISO attack, which are 2 separate things, and looks like for sure you're going to want to do Striker on him from the way I see it. Then there's also Awakened ability. So it's 4 rows of text, essentially. Not simpler, very complicated. Attack this primary target for damage. This character does not have silence. Clear all negative effects on self. Gain bomb bursts up to maximum 5. So he's also going to be getting those bomb bursts when, let's say, Kahori does her basics right out of the gate. He's also going to be getting bomb bursts that way when other characters do basics. In Crucible offense, the primary target does not have safeguard. Clear all positive effects on primary target. And this is going to be very different with the Awakened ability, as we're going to read here in a moment. Fill speed bar by 5% for self. Gains extra focus and cannot be dodged. So with the Awakened ability, it's going to change the way it reacts if you're going up against, let's say, Gladiator, right? Primary target has safeguard. Reduce the duration of safeguard by 2. Immunity by 2. And taunt by 1. Then also fill the speed bar. So those are the things that were added there in yellow. Now the ISO attack assist and seems very strong. Probably going to consider doing Striker on him. Based on the way it reads right now. Have not tested the character. Attack primary target for damage plus piercing. If this character does not have silence, clear all negative effects on self, gain 1 bomb burst up to a 5. So, if he's going into an ISO attack, he's hitting twice. Let's say he does an ultimate and then the ISO pops off. He's going to be getting some of that bomb burst. That's great. Because you want to ramp it up to 5 as quickly as you can to do the ultimate and do a lot of damage and silly things, right? On Crucible offense, if the primary target does not have safeguard, clear all positive effects on primary target, fill speed bar for self, by 5%, gains focus, cannot be dodged. So he can be getting speed bar not only on the basic, but also the second tap, if you will, with the striker mechanic, which I think is going to be good to run on this character. Though awakened ability will have the safeguard, reducing the duration, which seems crazy on a basic attack, and then he'll get speed bar for self. So we're going to start earning this character through the command center by daily activities. You know, I'm going to use air quotes here, by free. Well, what I mean by that is not spending money, and you know, he'll be acquired over a period of 3 months in the same way that Quasar was. So I think we have a good understanding of the way that Lalandra was released and Quasar released, and Blastaar is going to be similar, but I'm going to say that the 7 reds are going to be a little bit different. They weren't happy with the way the 7 reds were distributed based in the last video. Now, this is of high controversy. Well, not all of it. I don't know if this is in the data mines or if it's already been published in game, but there is some cost on what the Mephisto diamonds are going to cost. Mr. Fantastic to the next strike pass. The Thunderbolts can be used in the Fantastic Four Towers. Thunderbolts are going to bumps, which is basic orbs, the Ultimate Store, Mega Orbs, Premium Orbs, and Supply Stop for Power Cores. And they're diamonds to the Intel Store. So they're kind of skipping going directly to the Elite Store. They go to the Intel Store in the same way that right now Vigilante's in the Intel Store. This is kind of nice. This is live right now. I've not done it, but Super Scroll Heist is rewarding 1 diamond for Ares and Captain Britain, Silver Sable to the War Store, Devil to Crucible Store, Hitmonkey to Spotlight, and Havoc to the Raid. And then Mephisto, Ares, and Captain Britain diamonds are going to the Elite Store. Mephisto and Captain Britain will require Dark Diamond credits, which is we have a limited amount. And Ares requires Silver Diamond credits. And then this post here spells it all out. You know, Captain Britain, 1 diamond, 3 diamond, 1,800, 3,600, and 3 diamond, 9,000. Now, I'm not as interested in the Captain Britain diamonds as I am on Mephisto, which is a total of 27,000 Dark Diamond credits to get the 3 diamond. 3,300, 6,700, 1,600. I believe the Super Scroll, and I wrote the number down, the Super Scroll cost 11,200. And I'm going to switch to the other side of the screen here. But we are awarded on a seasonal basis, which this season of Crucible is ending in 26 days. You can see that it's, that's over let's say 26 days from now, I'll be getting about that many. Also worth noting that this is not the only place that we get these, but I know there's a lot of grumblings about the cost of that right there. All right, let me know what you think about Blastaar. Looks like it's going to be CC I Win God. Some people are worried about there being no viable defenses, and where Blastaar will be able to run over offense in CC, effectively reducing Crucible to an efficiency war. I don't know if I'm going to like that or not. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye for now.